does not tell the people what to think, but what to think about. The meaning is this: the media does not need to tell you that go and vote for Atiku, go and vote for Buhari, but the media will come with evidence or facts and figures about the two candidates.
Because you are basically helping the people to understand what is happening. And now you don't have all the information. You need to work with other people, like in the case that you just made mention of now. Go into the community and see that in the school there is already headmistress that is there, whereas there was supposed to be teachers there that should be taking care of the children, but already headmistress is there taking care of a lot of, I don't know how many children are there, but that would be really disappointing on the part of the whoever is responsible for those areas.
One of the schools we went to at Akmomo, they had to bring out several letters that they have been writing to the Ministry of Education as regards the condition of a particular school, which is in the community. And they said they got nothing. And the headmistress or the principal of any school is an employee of government. And being in the civil service, there are levels of engagement you can engage. There are levels of tone. There are ways you do things. So they also want to protect their job. They just relax with the situation. I am Saheed Ibrahim. I'm a developmental journalist working with Owena Press Limited, the publishers of the Hope newspaper in Ondo State, Nigeria here. I actually choose this aspect of genre of journalism, development journalism, because I consider that the media has several roles to play in society, and especially helping the people that are marginalized or underserved. So I focus on this and also some underreported issues in the society. So I think I developed so much interest in them because I see that there are a lot of things that the media are supposed to do or media practitioners are supposed to do that they are not doing. So I focus on that. And aside this, I also engage in media advocacy, especially for issues that are affecting the people, health communication and campaign, and social good generally. So if you're looking for me in the media space, I'll be there. Then in volunteering and social good space or change making space, I am also there. So that's the summary of what I do.
Okay, that is perfectly fine. So yeah, the question that you already responded to, that is fine, though that there was a little bit of hitches there of the sound of the mic, but it's okay. Would you like to tell me a bit about where did you grow up? Is it in Ondo State?
Yes, I was born and brought up in Ondo State. In fact, I lived in the interior part of Akure, though I grew up in the state capital. Within the state capital, you still have the suburbs. There will be some communities that are not really underdeveloped, let me say developing. So I grew up in one of those places, and actually that's what gave me all this kind of a background or idea about what the media should do. So when when my parents were saying, I think I should study, they think I should study law in the university, I told them I want to go into the media space. So that's where my interest lies. So, and I'm happy I took that decision.
That is very good. So just now you were talking of developmental media, something like that.
Yeah.
Would you like to explain what that means?
Okay. Let me just put it this way. We see the media not just disseminating information, but we see the media influencing the people to take actions and engage in activities that will lead to personal and social development. The media is very powerful in society only if we know how to exploit this influence that the media has. If you check the agenda setting theory of the media, the normative theory of the media, all of them explain how the media can help to develop the society as well as the people, giving the people what to talk about, what to think about, not what to think, actually. So with this, you look at the media as a developmental partner. For instance, let's talk about this during the time of the COVID-19 outbreak. Everybody looked towards the media. What should we do? What should be done? and what are we doing wrong or what are we doing right. So you find the media within that particular space trying to get everyone along, social distancing, all the measures that they should do. When you talk about environmental sanitation, exercise, you see the media coming out to say, this is how we should do, or this is what everyone should do. When it comes to politics, you still see the media in the center of everything, talking to the people, the essence of participating in political activities of their community. So talking about media for development or development journalism or development media is you seeing the media as a partner in developmental strides of a society, leading to both personal and social development. So it's not just the media disseminating information to the people and that's all. In fact, the media will have to even be actively engaged in talking to the people, in convincing the people to say this is the way to go. Because one thing is when you look at the demographics of people in the society, you have the educated, you have the uneducated, you have the literate, semi-illiterate, and those that are zero illiterate. All of them, they still look forward to the media messages on what to do at certain times because you don't know everything. So if you're looking at the media from the angle of antagonism, just straitjacket news, so you want to see the media giving you political news, giving you news about accident and everything. But what about news that has to do with, let's say, the development of the society? What about news that has to do with how can we be a better person? How can I be a better citizen? Oh, our economy is bad. What can the media do? So within these spaces, that's where you find media for development, trying to engage the people, trying to engage the social media, I mean, the stakeholders, the policymakers on things to do to ensure that we have a developing and a developed personal and social sphere generally.
All right, thank you so much for that. That sounds really very promising. Looking at our country, looking at Nigeria, looking at where we are supposed to be and where we are today. Yeah, that is really
Yes.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Uh, but how do you engage the people? Really, what is your method of engagement to make sure that you are a sort of I don't want to. Okay, let's say you're on the side of the people because that is who you are working for at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So tell me about your
Yes.
engagement.
Okay. Initially when I was introducing myself, I mentioned that I grew up in a developing area. So this already gave me a kind of idea about what the people feel, what the people like to do, what the people want government to do, or what they even yearn for in the society. So even currently, I still live with the people. I live among them, and I'm a community person. Almost every organization that we have around, I engage with them either as a volunteer, either as an engager, either as anything, whatever it is. And also use my social media page also, the space to create avenue or channels through which the people can communicate. Sometimes I can ask questions that what are the concerns that you have in your particular society, in a particular society? People try to make suggestions that in this particular area there are this, there are that. Then you know that okay, if this is of significance to the media or to policymakers or the people, then you have to work on it. There was a time that, okay, currently now we are battling cash crunch in Ondo State. We are now in the era of a Mayfield era of 2022/2023. We are getting back to that now because we've surveyed banks and POS operators, and what all of them are saying is that there's cash crunch. The CBN is not releasing enough money. So by the time you look at what the people are talking about, that gives you an idea. So as I use the social media, sometimes on my WhatsApp status, I call it journal request. Just there is a topic, and what do you think about it? You see a lot of people coming to your DM to give ideas, but sometimes you can even ask them, what is the trending thing in this particular period? What are you people concerned about? Then I currently train over 20 interns, and each of them are from different communities. So I ask them, when you are coming to the office, first thing because we meet on Mondays and Tuesdays, all of you must come with 5 things affecting people in your area or 5 story ideas that you have seen or you have noticed or you have observed. So by the time we put everything on the table, 5 story ideas from over 20 people, that means that you have over 100 ideas. Put everything on the table and we'll discuss it and we'll talk. From there, you can decipher the current trend in the society. Then I also monitor the media as well. I always check what is trending on Twitter, what is trending on Facebook, the use of hashtags, which one. So you know that, okay, this is a current issue that a lot of people are talking about. So from there, you pick it up. Then belonging to I'm a member of the Young African Leaders Initiative. I coordinated the activities of the hub in Ondo State from 2020 to 2023. So we've been to, so it's a body of different young people working on different things in the society. Some are working on health, some are working on education. So within that platform as well, you see a lot of ideas coming out. People talking about what they are doing or what they want to do. So by the time you visit all these communities with these organizations, you see that there are a lot of things that you think that they are not significant, but they are actually significant to these specific people. For example, we all thought that, okay, public schools are they have the best teachers, well trained, because government will not employ people that are not qualified. But among private schools, you can find SSC holder, someone that just finished secondary school, teaching in a school, which is not acceptable by law. But there was a time we went for an outreach in a particular community, and we noticed that the community has just one school, and in that school there is just one headmistress with no teacher. So the headmistress was making use of two PTA teachers, that's teachers that the community financed to work with the school. So only three of them are taking care of the kids from Monday to Friday, from primary one to primary six. So with that, that shows that there is an idea. So we went to another community and we discovered the same thing. That is a trigger for a report. And we start from there. So a lot of ideas. So you engage the media, engage the people, engage the community, engage also experts and people that are also working with people in their own respective domains. So with that, you get ideas.
All right, that's interesting. Now, how do you see the role of the community in this reporting and in your work of sensitization? Because you are basically helping the people to understand what is happening. Now, you don't have all the information. You need to work with other people, like in the case that you just made mention of now, go into the
Yeah,
community and see that in the school, there is already headmistress that is there, whereas there was supposed to be teachers there that should be taking care of the children, but already headmistress
definitely.
is there taking care of a lot. I don't know how many children are there, but that would be really disappointing on the part of the whoever is responsible for those areas. So
Definitely.
I'm trying to understand what should the community do to make sure that this information is flowing to the right places. There is a kind of impact from your point of view, from the work that you are doing as media, as reporters, as journalists.
Okay, I think one of the problems we have with people in the community, especially those in the interiors, is that there's a kind of information disconnect or communication gap between them and government. For instance, when we got to that community, there was no network. So if you are in that community, that you will use social media, I think it's like 10%. So you have to look for an area whereby the signal, the network strength is kind of strong a little bit for you to even tweet about whatever is going on in your society, in your community. And when you look at the situation, the brain drain situation, initially it used to be from rural area to urban area. Now it is from Nigeria to abroad. If you get to all these communities, you hardly find young people that can even use all the sophisticated phones that we use to access the social media and everything. We find more of grandpas, grandmas, daddies, and mommies and aunties that are not really, really educated. Because in that community, there's just one primary school there. There's no secondary school. If you want to attend secondary school, you have to go to another area. So with that, the people find it difficult to connect with those in power. So the only way they can do this is to speak to the king or the head of the community or anyone that they find influential that goes to maybe the state capital or has a role to play in politics, like their House of Rep member, their House of Assembly member, which they hardly see most times. Because part of what we engage them, we have to ask them questions. They will tell you they hardly see these people. In fact, once they are elected, even from their community, all these leaders relocate to the state capital or to the federal capital territory, which is Abuja. So that creates that disconnect between them and the government. And the social media they are supposed to also use, the ICT tools that are supposed to be present in their community, that definitely they are not available. So That is where the problem is. That's where we journalists have to come in, to go into this community sometimes, even if it is once in a while, to listen to them. And one thing is this: in developmental journalism, you can never remove the people from your report. You cannot report about them without them. It's not possible. You will misinterpret things. You will, in fact, you may think you are doing them a favor, and at the end of the day, you are doing them more harm than what they are currently experiencing. So it is normal for the people to speak out through their own traditional means of communication, or let's say conventional means in quotes, not the TV, not the radio now, but other channels of communication that they have, especially the traditional rulers, the community leaders, the councillors. So these are the people that can channel their causes or their ideas to the government. But ever since, when you engage them, you ask them, what has happened over time? Have you not reported about these schools? Then you hear something like, we have written series of letters, we have gone there several times. They will tell them, they will tell us that they are coming back and they are coming back, and at the end of the day, we don't get to do anything. So they get tired. In fact, one of the schools we went to at Akmomo, they had to bring out several letters that they have been writing to the Ministry of Education as regards the condition of a particular school, which is in the community. And they said they got nothing. And the headmistress or the principal of any school is an employee of government. And being in the civil service, there are levels of engagement you can engage. There are levels of tone. There are ways you do things. So they also want to protect their job. They just relax with the situation. So fine, definitely we can remove the role of the community in the development of their own party. The community members from the development of their community. But we have to create that communication bridge between them and those that are responsible to facilitate the development.
Oh, thank you so much for that. That is really very important, Don. Try to source out the information as it affect the people, and making sure that the people that are direct participant in
Yeah,
this information, of course, their engagement with the government. This is very very highly important.
yeah.
But what about the impact? After you do all this, what then happen? What kind of, say, a case study can you share with me in terms of the impact of what you are doing in the community?
Okay, let me start with my own professional work. There was a time that we reported, I facilitated a report on divorce in Ondo State. I think that was in 2022. We tried to measure the number of cases in 2021 to 2022 using four particular communities. That is Akure, Ondo, I think Idore, and one other community like that. And the number was outrageous. So once we put it out, radio stations review because or when the Hope newspaper is the only print medium, domiciled in Ondo State that is operate. No, not the only one operating because we have others, but it's the only one that is established in Ondo State. So our paper gets reviewed every day on all the radio stations. So immediately we put the story out, it was on the front page. In fact, it was for the next 1 month after that publication, divorce was a major uh, topic across radio stations, talking about high rate of divorce in Ondo State and in Nigeria generally. Generally, then what should be done? No, that is one. That is part of the ways we measure whatever we do. Then the community, whenever we work on a particular community and there is a report, personally, I use other NGOs that are working in that particular space. What I do is after publishing that story, I send a report to them. So that report inform their own activism or action plan, and they use it to engage the government. But with the several organizations that I also belong to, we use that to engage the government. With the case study of this particular Akmomo community, when we went to their schools and we noticed that the last time government was in that school was 20 years ago. We went to that school last year in 2022, and the
20
last time government
years
was
ago. 20
20
years
years.
ago.
The last time government was in that school to do anything in that school was in 2002. We went there in 2022. In fact, the building that was there collapsed. The community had to contribute to build three classrooms. Then someone, I think House of Rep, something in that particular area, also built three classrooms, so they have six. But over time, three got dilapidated and they are just using three. So they said they've written letters and everything. So what we did was after writing the story, we engaged them. We also developed letters through Young African Leaders Initiative on those that's yearly on those states hub. So we send the letters to the ministries that are concerned. That's the Ministry of Education. We also send letters to SUBEB. We send the letters to us of Ondo State House Committee chairman on education, science, and technology. So we engage with them to let them know that there is a school, even though you are doing several things in other schools in other areas. There is a school that the last time you were there was 20 years ago. So something needed to be done. And it was a good thing when we met them and they promised that when next they want to, because there is this plan to rehabilitate schools. So there's a certain interval they give that the next set of schools to be rehabilitated, that particular school will be part of it. So these are the ways by which, we don't just report, we still have to go back to see how are the people doing. Then we also engage in fundraising as well. Like me personally, after reporting about something, so I can engage all these NGOs for media activism to raise funds either for the student or for the school. So case study is that at Momo, and currently there's a report on a boy, that's a Ojo Sonya that we are trying to raise fund for. The boy was 9 years old when the dad felt that he was not going to school because he was staying with the grandparent, maternal grandparent. So he claimed that he wanted to enroll him in a school. He actually did, and he also enrolled him in at a branding mill to work as an apprentice. That was at the age of 9 or 10. So the boy had an accident, industrial accident, and he lost his two arms. So after reporting about this boy, now we are now raising fund for him through the platform of Yali, writing letter. Currently, Ojo is back to school at a special school because he lost both arms, so there's no way he could cope in a regular school. So he's now with, because we had to go to the Ministry of Education to tender the case. We showed them the newspaper report, we showed them the picture of the boy. In fact, we took the boy to them. And the reason was also they gave him a kind of a free enrollment in Ondo State Special School, and we are still raising funds for him so that he can continue his education for at least the basic classes.
Thank you so much for the work that you are doing. That is highly appreciable. People should value that contribution. That is very important.
Just doing it for God and for humanity.
For your people, you need to be there for your people. When you are,
yeah, definitely.
When you have the possibility of making a contribution, you need to let it affect the people. Otherwise, of what use are your people having you? So it's good that you are doing what you are doing, also to affect other people. All right, tell me something. You were saying before that as journalist or as a media practitioner, you talk to people something in the line of you tell the people how to think, not what to think, something like that. Could you please clarify what you mean by that?
Okay. It is under agenda setting theory of the media. The agenda setting theory by Malcolm and his friend says that the media does not tell the people what to think, but what to think about. The meaning is this: the media does not need to tell you that go and vote for Atiku, go and vote for Buhari, but the media will come with evidence or fact and figures about the two candidates to say this one has done this and that and that. This is the current situation. This one has done this. So it is now left for the people to now decide. To decide that which one is better for them. So what the media does is to give the people a level playing ground to select that this is the best. What is best for them? Because one, you can't enforce them, and a lot of people already develop this kind of affiliation with certain groups or certain individuals. So by the time you bring this to the fore, they look at it and be like, for the media to attach prominence to this particular cause or particular issue, it shows that this issue is very important. So from there, the people will decide. So that is why that's why you see that the major function of the media is information dissemination. Give them the right information that they need so that the people can make informed decisions. And about voting as well, by the time you present the statistics to the people, that if 50% of those that are electorate in Nigeria can actually vote, then we'll have a leader that will represent the generality of us, because 50% is average already. So it depends on how we engage the media, as I mean the people as media practitioners, that we can influence their opinion. When it comes to censors now, people develop this negative attitude towards censors. Oh, censors is about embezzling money. Censors is this, censors is that. So it is the function of the media to bring the relevance of censors, why we need it, to the front burner, to engage the people. By the time you, okay, if you turn on your TV, you see them talking about censors and why censors is important on radio, social media, and several campaigns like that. Either directly or indirectly, you are influenced to take action and see that, oh, I think I have to be part of this thing. So that's what the media does. Not directly telling the people that go and do this, but telling the people that when you do this, this is the action. I mean, this is the result. When you don't do it, this is the result. So the people take action.
My question now is the use of technology, because now you talked of going inside Ondo State to make report. Now, of course, if you were in the Ondo State capital, where you might have more resources there, I can understand it. But now, when you go into the interior to conduct this interview, what role does technology play in those lines? Like maybe somebody, maybe is the head of a school, you need to talk to this individual. Perhaps you are maybe in the state capital, you need to talk to this individual. How do you do that? Do you use maybe like Zoom? Do you have to do conferencing like we are doing now? Because I'm in Italy, you are in Nigeria. You can see that we are flowing on. Are you able to do similar thing like that? So share with me how technology is playing a role is the work that you are doing in Ondo State.
Yeah, I think if, like you noted, if you are in the state capital, it's easier. In fact, post-COVID or during COVID, my office had a change in operation. Initially, whenever we wanted to conduct interviews, most times we visit this interviewees in their offices and everything. But when COVID broke out and everybody went online, so Zoom became so popular, Meet became so accepted or adopted around. So we, the media practitioners, as well, I mean, also we adopted this measure. So I think if I do 100 interviews in a year, about 90 will be online, either via phone or via all these teleconferencing services. But when it comes to the rural area, it is very difficult to do because one, how do I set up a Zoom conference call with someone that doesn't even have an Android phone at least? And you know that in this area, the network is pretty bad. Yeah, because when we go there, in fact, the last time we went there, somebody had to on hotspot for me from his MiFi or my phone to access network. So we don't really consider that for those in the interior. So what we do is to send our correspondents to all these interiors so that whatever you want to discuss with the people, you can use your phone to record. Yeah, that one is acceptable. But to have teleconferencing call with them, I think we are still behind, so to say, in that particular regard. But we can use technology in other aspects, like number one, to record videos that, I mean, the actuality that you need to show the people out there or the government out there or the stakeholders that this particular problem is happening in the society. In 2019, I was at Ayetoro community. Ayetoro community is battling with sea incursion in Ondo State. It's at the Elijah Riverine area. Ever since the exploration of oil started on the Atlantic Sea that borders the community, there's this sea incursion that happens almost every year. Most times, 4 times in a year. And those 4 times will be very, very serious. A lot of people will have to leave the community. In 2006, that was when we had the last official census. The community the community had 27,000 people. When I went there in 2019, according to the community heads, they had just 5,000 people. And by the time I spoke to some people there, because I had to use my phone to record, to take videos of the sea incursion, the people that are affected, and every other thing, so that I can show these videos to those in power or to those that are concerned. I also use my phone to take pictures. I had a camera with me as well to take pictures of these people. because there was no network in that area. So that to use technology in some areas, you may not be able to because the resources that are needed, they are not there. But you can use you can use ICT or technology to take pictures, take videos, do transcription, do subtitle, and other things. Currently now, there's we have moved to the age of AI. There's this course I took, AI in the newsroom. In fact, it's this year I can rate it as the best course I've taken. I took it with this Night Center for Journalism and other things like that. So I use it in my work. Sometimes when I write about all these people, and then you're looking for this headline to show the intensity of that particular problem. You can use AI to suggest for you, then and you see. I can use AI to transcribe. Can use people use AI for a lot of things now, but we use AI to improve whatever we do. So as regards technology, I think it is when you are gathering information about pictures and videos or to record voices that we can do that. Then post production, post information gathering, you can use AI to better whatever you are doing on technology. But for you to gather information, you can only do that in an area that has all the resources. But in the interiors, we are not there yet.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Now, what is your satisfaction in this work that you are doing?
I think I derive joy when I see that my report is there and people are taking action. When I see that, okay, I wrote about divorce cases in Ondo State, and this informs several campaigns in the state. Already, I feel like, yes, there's value for what I do. I wrote about teenage pregnancy and teenage prostitution and drug abuse in Ondo State. The Ministry of Women Affairs, NGOs, government, all of them went into action. That was in 2022, that was last year. And that particular report got me an award, I think two awards, investigative journalism and best journalist in Ondo State. Then I wrote about this teenage pregnancy as well, because I discovered that in the rural area, people give out their daughters in exchange for economic benefits. Because the parents are not really educated. So those that are influential in that particular community, in these communities, they approach them. Oh, I like your daughter, even though she's still 15, I can marry her, not as first wife, can be second or third. But because they see that this person is influential and has money, and the family will have to do the exchange, it happens. I had to report about that, and that one again, you see government talking about teenage pregnancy, you see NGOs rising up, and they are referencing your report to show that yes, this is genuine, this is authentic. This year again, I did a report on prison reforms in Nigeria using the Olokuta Correctional Center to look at the condition of inmates, because there was this prison reform policy in 2019. So we want to see how far this particular reform has achieved success. And our findings show that no, it is just a nomenclature change. It's just a change of name from prison service to correctional services. We have not really achieved any significant form of reform, even though there is hope that we can do better. There's another report on unsafe abortion. This is what we hardly talk about because of our laws that prohibit abortion in Nigeria. So people don't usually talk about it. Everybody looks at abortion as, no, you must not go there. If you do abortion, you will die. We are not advocating that people should go into abortion. But my report on the human cost of abortion shows that because of the illegality of abortion in Nigeria, a lot of people are now going through the back door to procure unsafe abortion. And this has significantly contributed to maternal mortality and morbidity in the state and in Nigeria. And I used the cases of about, I think, three people, even though I had about four or five, three people that I know that they are very significant. One of them is a married woman that got pregnant. I think she and her husband felt that they could not cater for another child because they had two already with this economic situation. So they went for abortion, and unfortunately, they didn't engage uh, a professional, and eventually the woman died. The woman died. So this, They are very, very sad. So these are the cases that we project. And before you know it, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, you see it everywhere. Government is taking action. So that gives me the joy. Not the joy is not because all these things are happening. The joy is the fact that what we do is or are informing government decisions, policymakers' decisions, NGO decisions, and people are taking action.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I really do. All right.
Yeah.
So, what will be your final thoughts to conclude the conversation today?
Okay, I think what I would say is this: the world is bedeviled with or by a lot of issues. You're talking about climate change here. You're talking about the military mistakenly dropping bomb on people. You're talking about economic crunch and everything. The social responsibility of the media remains, whether we like it or not. A lot of people are taking sides, and when you look at the media now, you see that out of hundreds that we have, about 40 are established by political actors, about 25 are established by people that are using the media to promote their business, even though, I mean, their businesses, even though their businesses, on the other hand, are kind of a kind of enemy in quotes to the people. But what I would just say is this: as media practitioners, we still hold the people the responsibility of informing them, of educating them, and also engaging with them in order for us to have a developed and a better society. There is this idea, we call it media narratives about Africa and Nigeria. A lot of people now, when you look at the media, it's always about the negativity aspect of it. There is this book by H. Bias for Hope. We, the media, need to give the people that the society we live in, there is hope, irrespective of all these things that are happening. And we hold the responsibility to show them the way, that this is where the hope lies. And if all of us can put hands together and resolve all these issues and all these problems will be resolved, and we have a better society for individual, for group, and for everyone at large.
Thank you so much for that. I believe in that power of hope, and I believe in the work that you guys are doing out there. So keep it up. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.